Hey there, Premier League fans. It's time to get settled on into this week's episode here of Between the Posts. I'm, of course, Jason, and he's, of course, Matt. We're here to break down match week number 32 in the Premier League and maybe a couple FA Cup games as well to go along with that. How's it going there, Matt? It's been way too long, way too long. What's up, man?
Maybe, yeah, it's great to be on with you again, Jason. Yeah, maybe some other stuff too. Like I'm just even live right now. I was kind of interested diving into like the Conference League, which I haven't watched a second of. But Anderlecht had a 2 goal advantage going into the second leg here, and we've got AZ Alkmaar immediately jumps on them in the first 15 minutes to tie to make it tie. It's 2-2 on aggregate. You kind of want to go with the home side there maybe and to try to qualify, to pull it out, being 2 goals down going into the day.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell people I've got a couple bets there in the Europa League. I'm with you. I'm not touching that Conference League, but the Europa League, I did under 2.5 in Sevilla, Man United. I've watched a lot of United games without Bruno, and they suck every time they don't have Bruno on the field. I mean, like they struggle to create any really good chances. So I like the under in that one. And through just texting with you, Royale Union, I'm all in on them today. I like them on the double chance. I like them to advance. I like them. So those are my 2 plays today.
Yeah, I really like the over in that Royal Union
Yeah.
Leverkusen. Just simply as I kind of caught my eye when I was just reading the flash score description.
Yeah.
They have scored so many goals at home this year.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Bet it
Oh yeah,
last week and got tripped up. Missed it on the hook. Obviously, it finished 1-1, but it was still a great bet, and it's another great bet today.
exactly. So it says they have also proved a formidable opponent at the Joseph Marion Stadium, where 12 of their last 13 outings have ended in victory,
Yeah.
netting a whopping 30 goals in the process. So they've been scoring goals, 30 goals in basically 12 matches. I mean,
Yeah.
you love that.
Yeah. Let's get some
That's
goals on
just
in that one.
them. I mean, that's just for their perspective.
Right.
And you've got fire attack really in Leverkusen.
Yeah,
So
that should be a good one. So those matches start off in a little under an hour. If you're interested in getting in any bets right here, we're obviously here to talk to Premier League, which the title race has certainly changed since the last time we got together. Arsenal is only 4 points clear now of City, and after this weekend, maybe they'll be 7 points clear, but City will have 2 games in hand at that point and still a head-to-head to go, as City is going to be occupied with the FA Cup this week and taking on Sheffield United. So big spot here for Arsenal. And then in the relegation fight, Leicester, Southampton, and Nottingham are the teams that are now sitting in that relegation zone. So what do you think? What do you think there with the title or anything or relegation? What do you think there, Matt?
I think that it's City's title for the most part. I hope that Arsenal wins it because I think it would be a great story. But I mean, we've just seen it. This Man City team, they're clicking on all cylinders. They beat Arsenal already in the reverse fixture. Good luck beating this Man City team. I mean, the only team that I think can do it is potentially this Real Madrid team. And then I pull up the book today and see Man City minus 300 favorites to go through in that tie. This team is it's the Erling Haaland effect. I mean, it was everything that this club needed, really, just to get to that next step.
And remember, they were better than Real Madrid. They just hit that Bernabeu magic the last couple minutes and snatched up a couple goals to force injury time. So I do think City will get past Real Madrid. It won't be easy, but I think they'll squeak by them by some margin of some kind. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump on into it. We've got a Friday fixture on the schedule here in the Premier League. Arsenal taking on Southampton. Obviously, we're talking first place, first 20th place. Arsenal may be feeling those nerves. Look, they've had 2 straight games. They've been up 2-0, and those games have both settled 2-2 in draws. So perhaps Arsenal is starting to feel a little bit. Mentioned the gap is now down to 4 points. Boy, if Southampton, they'll have belief that they can get back in it because Arsenal has let those two-goal leads drop. But boy, if Southampton can maybe somehow jump up 1-0 in this fixture and then Arsenal really start feeling the nerves and the home crowd, you can even feel it in the stadium, watching it on TV, that maybe they're getting nervous. I don't know if I'm willing to predict an upset by any stretch. I'm just there's a blueprint here to where Arsenal could certainly drop some more points potentially.
Totally. This wouldn't be the week though for me. This is Southampton. So this is the perfect get right spot. I don't think it's necessarily the title. I think there's still so many matches to go. I wouldn't say they're getting nervous yet. I just think that it's the depth. Like, this is why Man City always wins this league, is their depth. When injuries, come awry, which they always do in this league, you look at the center half,
Saliba.
Saliba. I mean, I don't know if he's even going to. I've talked to a couple of my Arsenal friends, and they're really keeping it hush hush on it. I don't know if he's even going to play again this season. Then you look at Zinchenko having some injuries, and Tomiyasu. I mean, those are those key positions, those defensive center half, fullback positions. I mean, you have to have those to win the title, and you need them to be healthy. And their depth was the concern, kind of always, really, in those positions, and they'll want to strengthen that even next season. So for this match here, I think I've carved out something. I don't know if I'm going to bet it, but this would be my lean. Is just because, I think that Arsenal, they didn't really create a lot of good chances in that second half against West Ham. West Ham maybe even could have pulled off a victory, and I think that Arsenal will try to tighten up here, and I think that Southampton will be sitting way back. Obviously, I think that the way to get on board with this one, you can find Arsenal and under 3.5 at basically even money. I think minus 110 to even money, somewhere in that range. That appeals just from a look there. What kind of perspective will they have going into this match, conceding 2 goals in the second half or whatever to West Ham, or 2 goals from a 2-goal cushion? That would be my pep talk. Kind of in the dressing room, is let's lock this down. Don't concede to Southampton. So you could look at maybe Arsenal win to 0 as well. But so something along those lines. I know that there is no Saliba or Zinchenko, but I still think that they have enough here in the defensive abilities to keep Southampton at bay.
Yeah, I agree, and I like that play. I've got Arsenal at a 2-0, 3-0 spot here. Maybe they can get that third, or because maybe they'll be so defensive of not conceding and giving up another lead that it stays at 2-0. So that's why I kind of like your Arsenal and under 3.5 goals as a little parlay there. And you said it comes in at around even money, so that's fantastic. So I think the team total over 2.5 is going to be sweaty for exactly the reasons Matt said. They're not going to let another 2-0 goal lead slip. So they'll get the second, right? Because you don't want to all of a sudden Southampton, nick you at the end, and all of a sudden it's another 1-1 draw. So they'll get the second. It's just, can they get the third? It's at minus 115. I don't know if I can quite get there. I really like your Arsenal money line under 3.5 goals.
Yeah, it comes down to that. When does the first one happen?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that you would like to think that it shouldn't happen as quickly as some of the most recent Arsenal goals have been happening. They've been scoring inside 15 minutes. I think that Southampton are going to be sitting way back. I could see like a decent bet maybe being like no goal in the first 30. Like, that's what you would hope for with an Arsenal and under 3.5, I think. And, when they do go up, let's say 2-0, do they keep it on the pedal, and try to say, let's go get our third? Or do they say, we're a little bit scared from what happened last week, let's really lock up shop? So that's kind of where the bet is very 50-50.
Yeah, I'm already kind of sweating no goals in the first 30 minutes because we know Arsenal's going to have the ball and they're going to create a ton of chances like they always do. I really like that money line under 3.5. So, all right, let's kick it off there on Saturday's action. We've got Fulham taking on Leeds, where Fulham was finally able to snap their 4-game losing streak, winning 3-1 last time out against Everton. Leeds, they stayed pretty cold recently, and obviously Liverpool stuck it to them, winning 6-1. They did. Fulham has already won both fixtures this season. They've already hooked up once in the FA Cup and once in the league, with, again, Fulham coming out up on top. I like goals in this. I'm wondering if Fulham team total over 1.5 at plus 120 is worth it. But the reason I like goals, Matt, is because the last 6 for each club over 2.5, and both teams to score is at 67% for Fulham for both of those. And for Leeds, both teams to score is hit 100% of the time in the last 6, and over 2.5 goals is hit 100% of the time in Leeds' last 6. This one's going to have goals. It's, do I do a both teams to score and over 2.5, or do I just do that Fulham team total over 1.5? Or maybe you see this one differently, Matt?
I don't see it any differently. I think that Leeds are in big trouble. The only thing that you could point to some positivity is they'll get Max Vober back into, he'll be starting at center half. Maybe they get Patrick Bamford. He's at 75% here to go, according to premierinjuries.com. But Vober missed the Liverpool match. He has been kind of a nice piece. They signed him in January. And yeah, so it's one of those where it is like, what do you want to do here? I mean, I think there's a couple bets to really maybe attack in this one. I haven't finalized this piece, but I think that this has the potential to be like the best bet on the card. I think it's the clear-cut most obvious, over 2.5, and I completely agree with it. And I will be betting the over 2.5. I know that for sure. But do I want to, maybe even dabble in like a Fulham team total, like you're saying, like pick on that Leeds defense again? Because I have to say, Jason, that was the most live betting dream that
Right.
you always get some of those, once a year, once, maybe twice a year, where the books just in the 70th minute kept showing, they have that three-way market on which team will score next or no goal. And they're giving me plus 160 and plus 175 and plus 200 on Liverpool to be the next goal scorer. And it was right there. The writing was on the wall. I mean, this is, they were getting carved open. Like, it looked like it was some schoolboy defending. And then you get like, even, I did another one. I did over 5.5 Liverpool goals
Oh
around like
wow.
83-minute mark, probably, when they bring in Nunez and Diaz and Thiago and all this. It's like those guys want to go in there and have some fun too. And
Right.
Nunez scored. And yeah, it was a dream from a live betting perspective. And so you just have to, the only like hesitation is there's no Mitrovic, still suspended on a red card. I would love for him to be in there. Um, but yeah, I think that Fulham should win. I think that Fulham should hit their team total. I think that Leeds should be able to contribute to the score line, so both teams are scoring over 2.5.
Yeah.
Tell me how this game stays under. I mean, really,
There's
it is
nothing
difficult.
nothing in the stats that are going to suggest an under. So that being said, why is over 2.5 only minus 115? That's the head scratcher to me. I'm getting sucked in, and okay, the stats will justify getting sucked in, but why minus 115? I don't get it.
Here's the only devil's advocate that I could play is, one, it's an early kickstart, and two, the only thing that this Leeds manager is going to be thinking about is defending, because
Defend.
they've conceded 11 goals in the last two matches to a woeful Crystal Palace side, and
Right.
Liverpool can do that. So you can kind of give them a pass on that part. Um, that's all I've got. Other than that, I mean, this is why is this a flat 110? How is this not a minus 135 over 2.5?
I mean, a
Honestly,
Wolves team got two past Leeds. I mean, a lot of teams are, yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I'm betting it. I'm probably,
yeah.
I mean, I'm probably want to just stick to backing Fulham at home. So that's why I'm not going to reveal that bet at the end of the show, because I'm torn between the Fulham team total and just the over 2.5. I like obviously the
I know.
plus money. I mean, you can get Fulham team total at plus 125.
I don't mind splitting up the stakes and having both of those in there. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
why the heck? I would say maybe you place a unit probably today before this line. I think this line should move. Like, why the hell is this not at 2.75?
I,
I really don't understand that. So maybe you place a little bit today, and then you just kind of wake up early and like double check lineup, and then you hammer. I don't know, like that. Yeah, this is a weird. It's a funky total line. I do have to say that. It's a
yeah,
head
it is.
scratcher.
Speaking of that Leeds Liverpool match, boy, for a game that had 7 goals, I sure was sweating my first half over here. I was drowning in a pool of sweat. Boy, that was sweaty as hell for me right there. All right, let's move it along now to Brentford. Take it on Aston Villa. Is there any team hotter than Aston Villa? You guys probably follow BR Football on Twitter. every match they keep sending out, they're like, Unai Emery has collected the most points in like this amount of time period. They've moved up. Like, they are full on up to 6th place, 5 straight wins, 7 wins of their last 8. That one that they didn't win, they got a draw. Nobody is hotter right now than Aston Villa. Aston Villa is scoring, for sure they're scoring. Are they going to hit that team total over 1.5 at plus 170? Because this is another one where I know they're getting 1 goal. I mean, just told you, they're rifling off wins, so they're obviously picking up goals. Can they pick up a second goal at plus 170? Brentford here is winless in their last 5, 3 losses and 2 draws. It makes me really like Aston Villa, obviously, here they're with how hot they are. But Brentford have won their last 4 home head-to-head. Villa hasn't gotten a win here in a very long time. Villa's going to be sound on the defensive end, though. Both teams to score has only hit 33% in their last 6. That's why I don't really want to back Brentford here. I love Unai Emery. I really just want to back Villa. And again, it's probably going to be this team total angle or probably just lay off. What about for you?
Yeah, I think it's a Villa bet. I think when you get Villa's team total here at like plus 160, that has to be looked at. I mean, this team is on fire. They're the best. They've been the best team in the league other than Man City, like you kind of mentioned, like in the last month. I mean, this team is unbelievable. Unai Emery is doing everything right. What a great sacking of Gerrard. You have to be fair, and a great hiring of Unai Emery. Right. And this team could get in the Champions League. They could be a Europa League, which would be a dream for Aston Villa fans.
Right.
So I'm looking either at like an over 2.5 or an over 1.5 team total for Villa. I think that Brentford can contribute too. Why is this line at plus 100 for an over 2.5 as well?
That one's a little harder because Villa's keeping clean sheets. So you're really asking Brentford to be bright at home, which they are bright at home. But that's why that one's at plus money, is because can Brentford contribute?
So then why not? Why don't we just go draw no bet Aston Villa?
Well, that's got to be a parlay piece, right?
No. It's basically a pick 'em on both sides. I mean,
okay.
They're the road team. This is you're probably going to get a draw no bet market around minus 120 on this. Yes, please. And then I don't want to. And then, I mean, that's kind of it. That's what I think is probably the best bet on this one. But take a look at Flash Score right now, Jason, in terms of Lech Poznan in the Europa Conference League. We're down 4-1. They lost 4-1 at home to Fiorentina. Right now, they're up 3-0 on the road in Italy.
Oh, wow.
And it's a 4-4. It's a 4-4 aggregate and a 2-2 aggregate right now in the Europa Conference League. I say that we take the teams that are hot today. Just a stake on each.
All right. Well, I don't have my phone on me while we're doing the show, but I'm down.
I know. I do right now, and I'm like, I really want. Like, I think that one of them is definitely going to go through. I think, but I mean, there's just you want to take the team that's on fire.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go ahead and keep it on moving here with Crystal Palace taking on Everton, where the last 3 times I've been in the Premier League and I've taken over some amount of cards, I'm 3-0. This is this week's game. If you want to take an over on the cards, it's right here between Crystal Palace and Everton, where the teams rank 3rd and 4th in the Premier League in terms of getting cards at 2.2 and 2.1 per match. You get John Brooks. You get another dream referee here. He averages 4.38 per match, which is 5th most in the Premier League. The last 2 head-to-heads have seen 5 cards and 7 cards. This is the play here, boys. If you want to do over a 3.5, it's a parlay piece because it's at about minus 280. Or you can do over 4.5 cards at plus 110. I think the way these stats are, I'm kind of on fire betting cards. Like I said, I'm 3-0, so I may dabble here in over 4.5 cards at plus 110. I also, if you can't bet the cards market, I'm well aware that some states, for whatever reason, don't allow that. Also kind of like under 2.5 goals here. Just Palace, Everton. Palace 3 straight wins. Everton winless in their last 4. Sean Dice has got to get some damn points, and this one feels like a nice low-scoring one. One in which the head-to-head has been kind of back and forth, though. Everton won the last 2. The 2 before that, Palace was able to win 2 straight. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one, but it feels like give me cards and give me an under 2.5. What about for you?
Yeah, I like the unders here. But this is one that I don't really have a good feel for. I'll be very honest on this. This match is pretty difficult to predict, and so this would just immediately kind of make me gravitate towards tailing you on the cards angle, because I think that you do have a good grasp on that, and you've been really solid on that market really all year. This is very, very coin flippy match, don't you think?
Oh yeah. No way I'm trying to pick a winner. If anything, this could be a good live bet because the last 5 head-to-heads have seen a goal in the 80th minute or after. So if you're sitting there and maybe pop one off late and see if you can't get a late goal, has been happening this head-to-head. But yeah, to me, it's cards or stay away. For sure.
I think that's fair.
All right, here's a big match. We got Leicester taking on Wolves. You want to know a stat here? You think Wolves can get anything out of this? Wolves, Matt, bet you didn't know this, have never scored an away goal at the King Power Stadium in the Premier League. Wow. Never scored a Premier League goal at the King Power Stadium. This smells like an under 2.5. Wolves going to full on struggle. Leicester's not lighting it up at all this season. There's a reason they're in the relegation fight. The last 4 home head-to-head have all cashed under 2.5 goals. Obviously, just mentioned Wolves haven't scored obviously in any of that. So, Leicester's able to run it up, but you don't run it up against Wolves. That's why this is like a nice little under 2.5. Leicester's 17 goals in 15 home matches. Wolves 11 goals in 15 away matches. Nobody is scoring. This one just smells like an under.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves don't score on the road. 5 straight away matches, against Leicester, all under 2.5 on the road.
Yeah. Like I said, they never scored in the Premier League.
Let's see, Leicester have only scored. They haven't scored more than 1 goal in their last 5 home matches.
I want to back Leicester here. I like Dean Smith. Thought he was doing pretty good at Villa, obviously years back before he got the sack. I mentioned how Wolves can't score. This feels like a Leicester 1-0 win, but their last 6 games, they only average 0.17 points. Is that the team I really want to back to get a win when, they're barely picking up a 0.15 points per game? You know what I mean? But given Wolves' struggles, I think this is a good spot where you can back Leicester and maybe they can get a win while maybe cashing under 2.5. Maybe this is like a Leicester money line and under 3.5 play or something along those lines.
I think that you're just on it. I think that you're just on it in this one. Under 2.5. Sorry, I did end up placing. I did a little parlay. I just did both the teams that are hot right now in that conference league to go through. Lech Poznan is plus 500 to go through, and they're up 3-0 today. Tell me how that makes any sense. I'm probably betting that foolishly, but tell me how that makes any sense.
Does it?
Yeah, I think. I mean, the stats back this one up, and it's one of those two, Jason, where it's starting to get nervy. Fiorentina score, so that makes me feel bad. But
plenty of time.
But that's just the stats here, and then this is like a nervy. Starting to get nervy at the King Power. I mean, I don't know. I don't see any offense really here. I think the under 2.5 is a good one.
The only fortune is, it is minus 140, which is, within the threshold of, some people like minus 150 and below. So it's there, but yeah, I feel like instead of doing under 2.5, I might as well just come along potentially for that Leicester money line at plus 150, or like I said, Leicester money line under 4.5. I don't know, something along those lines. But yeah, definitely stats smells like an under. Stats back it up as well. So see what happens right here. There will not be an under in this next matchup with Liverpool taking on Nottingham, where Liverpool have scored 56 goals on the season, with 36 of those coming at home. Forest have conceded 56 goals on the season, with 36 of those coming on the road. Nottingham, you think they're going to get anything out of this matchup? They've had 15 away matches. Guess how many goals they've scored in 15 away matches? 5. They're not doing anything at Anfield today. They will not be doing a damn thing. They scored 5 away goals all season. This is Liverpool to win by a margin. This is even Liverpool to win via the clean sheet. You can get Liverpool -2 at minus 115. That feels like a push or a win.
Yeah, the -2 feels really nice. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. The last time I kind of said that I think this Liverpool team, now they're finally healthy, they're going to get going. I know that we hit some team total stuff, and I kind of mentioned the live betting in the last match, and this team is back. Really, I mean, they did a little tweakage. Alexander-Arnold now is playing in that midfield role.
Where do you get that idea
Um,
from?
yeah, I wonder where.
Where do you get that idea from?
Maybe Pep Guardiola, maybe not.
Right.
Um, yeah, it's about time. It's something that we've been crying out for years, really. I mean, like, why is he not getting in midfield? And then, yeah, I mean, if sometimes the best form of flattery is just to do something like that and
Yeah.
just do what they're doing. You have
Right.
the capabilities. You have the center backs that can handle it. You have to have really good and fast center halves to be able to play that type of style, and that's exactly what they have with Virgil van Dijk and Konate. So this one was pretty easy. This is going to be. I think that this bet will continue on for the rest of the season at 60 to 70%, somewhere in there. It's going to be Liverpool team total. Whatever the team total is, if it's 1.5 or 2.5, get it as close to -110 as you can. Shop around. I saw a -130 on DraftKings. So there might be some maybe -120s out there. I would dabble in the team total over 2.5 on Liverpool here and just rock with it. And I would just continue to rock with it week in and week out.
Okay. All right. So you like the team total more than the margin or the clean sheet? Okay.
Yeah, I like all of them. To be fair, I like the clean sheet. I do like the clean sheet. I like the team total, and I like the Asian handicap.
To me, the Liverpool win to nils at -137 because I can get them to just win by two at -115. I think they're winning by a margin. Now the problem is that could also push, but they scored 5 goals away. Like they're not going to Anfield and scoring more than 1 goal, and I think Liverpool gets three at least, if not more than three. So it feels like a push or a win. Feels like a push or a win. All right, let's keep it on going
This
here
feels like
with the. Feels like a what?
great, great spot for Liverpool.
Yeah, it's coming. Good opponents coming as they're getting healthy. And we talked about it off show. Come in at 70. Oh, let me throw on Nunez. Oh, let me throw on Diaz. Whoa, and those guys want to keep impressing because they want to be in the starting 11. They don't want to be coming off the bench. So that's why your team total is so great because they're just going to keep pushing for 90. All right, Newcastle and Tottenham right here, where Tottenham are a sinking ship. I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about this. Let me tell you what the play is here in this game right here. I'll tell you right here. Newcastle second half money line, or maybe over 1.5 goals to be scored in the second half, because Newcastle have scored 15 of their 23 home goals in the second half. And Tottenham on the road, they've conceded 25 goals with 18 of those coming in the second half. This game feels like second half fireworks. Newcastle being the better team in the second half based on those stats. So I like them second half money line or an over 1.5 goals in the second half, which that over 1.5 goals in the second half has hit in 50% of Newcastle matches and 60% of Tottenham's away matches. So, and Newcastle already won the reverse fixture 2-1. Yeah, give me Newcastle here. I'm going to try and attack the second half angle, depending on what the first half looks like.
I love that. See, that's what if you're watching.
Yep, we lost the Matt. He'll call back. He'll dial right back in. Let's get him. Hang tight. We'll get us a Matt right on back. He'll dial back. There he is. There you go. We got you back. We missed.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. But I was just saying, like that right there is, if you're watching this or when you do end up watching this back, that's the kind of stuff that you want to write down right there, like the Newcastle second half look. I mean, that is something that I will now be paying attention to in this one. Like if it's a 0-0 at halftime, or if it's a 1-0 Tottenham lead, or 1-1, whatever it is. As long as Newcastle doesn't look like complete dog shit in the first half, like I want to be on that bet. So, yeah, I don't want anything to do with Tottenham really down the stretch. And one other thing that I wanted to point out, I was thinking about after we left the Liverpool, because I just, that's my team and I think about them. And like, I think that a good bet might be is you have the ability to open parlay things at some certain books. I think that you could open parlay a Liverpool win from here on to the end of the season. I actually think that it could be a really good bet.
What is a open parlay? I don't even know what the hell that means. What the hell's an open parlay?
So on some certain books, it's like, have you ever seen like there's some things like an open teaser in the NFL on some like maybe on might be more of a thing offshore or like a local bookie, but there's like let's say the Niners are -6 against the Seahawks. You can start your teaser with just that. And if that wins, you can wait for your second leg on the two-team teaser if you want to bet for the next week or in 3 weeks or whenever. And so you can open parlay things. And I think that Liverpool on an open parlay to win this week, and then you parlay them again next week, and then you continue. I think that they've got a shot to run this table. I really do. I think that I think they can run it out in all victories. If you look at their schedule, it is really, really nice. The hardest match that they have, I believe, is a home match against Villa.
That's certainly
So
tough.
I knew that a home match against Villa, I would expect them to be able to get the job done. If it's an away match against Villa, or maybe that's where you close the parlay and take your winnings.
Right.
But I'm telling you, like this this schedule is so nice. So that was just another little nugget that I wanted to add in, and that is something that you can do at some certain book.
Well, don't forget about your last season cash cow of just parlaying City and Liverpool every weekend. I remember you were cashing that damn near every weekend.
No, I think that that's back on the menu right now,
Yeah, that's what
Jason.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Let's run through this schedule real quick. So they've got Forest at home. They go at West Ham, who are playing in a conference league right now. They have a home match against Spurs.
They'll win.
They normally beat Spurs. They have a home match against Fulham. They have a home match against Brentford. They go on the road to the King Power.
They'll win.
Then they have a home match against Villa and an away match against Southampton.
Yeah, Villa's the only potential tripping spot. Otherwise, they win all those other games for sure.
I'm a little bit mad at myself. There was a 9-1 available a couple weeks ago for them to make the top four. Now it's down to about 5-1, so it's halved since then. But I think that this open parlay thing is a really good idea. I mean, you're basically just parlaying like -200s to -400s over and over and over again. But I do think that this team is going to find its clicking. And I think that you're right when finding maybe a Man City, Liverpool. If you can get one of those teams when they're on the road or they're both on the road, whatever, that's a hammer play. That's a hammer play. Maybe they're the better.
Their issue all season has just been injuries. They couldn't do anything late in a match to change a game or to bring in fresh legs to like keep the opposition at bay to hold on to a lead. It's been injuries, and they're healthy to your point. So I like it right there. All right, guys, don't forget that Newcastle second half. I think it's a great live spot. This card had a good couple live spots, and we've mentioned a couple, and that Newcastle second half is the latest one. Let's look at the last match here in the Premier League. Then let's talk about a couple FA Cup ones. We got Bournemouth taking on Southampton, Bournemouth taking on West Ham, where West Ham have won the last two head-to-head matches. Both of them have been via the clean sheet. West Ham, I mean, if I say it feels like the play, though, it feels like I'm only saying that because of the name West Ham. But can you really trust a team that has had 14 away matches and has only scored 8 goals? I don't know if I really can. Bournemouth, they've had 15 home matches and have only conceded 19, so they're pretty damn good at home. I'm leaning Bournemouth here on the upset. Over 2.5 goals, has hit 50% of each of their last 6 matches. So it feels like goals, but again, I can't rely on West Ham. If I'm betting this match, I'm just taking a stab at Bournemouth.
Yeah, I mean, especially with West Ham are getting ready to kick off here in 30 minutes. They're -2 favorites. They are at home, which is, that would be a bonus. But they've got a grueling match coming up here against Ghent, 1-1 in the reverse fixture. You never it's just kind of the cardinal sin really down the stretch towards the end of the season. You just don't bet really on the teams that are coming out of Europe. Anybody that's in Europe, unless you're Man City, who has depth galore, you don't get involved with that. But this team doesn't have all that, and they're trying to win this conference league. They're going to prioritize, I would think, the Premier League, but I mean, they're trying to win a European trophy, and I think that West Ham could win this. I mean, this league, we've talked about it. It's a cupcake of a tournament. Yeah, look at who's in the last.
They should win it. I mean, what does that get you? That gets you automatic promotion to the Europa League. So that's what you get. You get straight up in the Europa League.
I still am waiting. One of these years, it's going to be awesome when a team. They get relegated. They go down to the championship, but they're in like Europa League or Europa Conference League in the championship. I mean, it's going to happen.
I mean, to your point, if they keep playing on these Thursdays and keep slipping up, Everton could jump them, Forest could jump them, Leicester maybe catches a little bit of form. That could definitely happen. Could you be in the not top flight league of your country and play in like a Europa Conference League or a Europa League? Like, is that even allowed?
I would think so. Yeah, absolutely. It is.
That would be
Absolutely.
hilarious.
It
Especially
is.
the championship where you play like an absurd amount of games because there's like 46 teams or something in that league or whatever the hell it is. That would be crazy.
Yeah, the scheduling conflicts and that would be, oh my God, that would be so amazing. But yeah, I want to go on West Ham here just based on name. But
That's it.
I mean, they're playing a little bit better too, right? Let's kind of, their form is okay. I mean, it's getting better. A 2-2, a nice comeback last week.
It could come back. I agree.
Look, I mean, their form is actually pretty solid. They had a really bad flop against Newcastle at home where but look, I mean, you're kind of going into some of the Europa Conference League and counting that as form too. But I mean, when you're looking back on since the 9th of March, they've only lost once since the 9th of March in all competitions. So I mean, they're tough to beat. But I would probably be just kind of leaning towards the home team, maybe in the draw no bet market, waiting on lineup, seeing what happens. But yeah, not something that I really want to get overly involved in.
All right, guys. Well, I think if you do like West Ham, that over 2.5, again, it's hitting 50%. That's what you kind of look for, right? Is two teams that cash it because then that brings it up. So I think over 2.5 is good. All right, let's turn our attention now to a couple FA Cup games before we reveal our official bets. City versus Sheffield, other than City smashing by some amount of margin, like, do we just skip and go right to Brighton and United? Nobody's taking Sheffield serious here. Nobody's taking Sheffield serious.
That's where you get into some props. Like, for example, you know who's going to start in that match?
Alvarez.
It's going to be Alvarez.
Alvarez, Mahrez, and Foden's your front line. Take all three of them to score. I don't care. 2 out of 3.
I love that. I love or Alvarez to score 2. So I'm like, I think that's more than fair. So yeah, that's all I would be looking at, and that's been a nice bet over the years though too. It's just like in those FA Cup matches against the Minnows with City. I remember I've had a couple good experiences like betting all 3 of the front line guys to score. So that might be a good way.
You may get a dream if you avoid the prop market and just back them, and they actually want Haaland to play in his first trip to Wembley, and you get a surprise Haaland in the starting 11 because they're in Wembley. Like, okay, now your team total whatever is like awesome.
Yeah, or like then you just go Haaland hat trick.
I don't think that happens. I think they're going to give him the full rest before Arsenal midweek.
Okay, yeah, you're right. He will not. Yeah, he should not. He should not. All
right, let's move over here to Brighton versus Manchester United, where we've been texting lately, and I've been telling you that this feels like a Brighton knockout United spot. This feels like it. We don't know what United's going to do against Sevilla here in the next 20 minutes in the Europa League, but Brighton has just been tough all damn season long. This feels like the Brighton's going to get it done, and Brighton has played United tough over the season. Remember, United only won one season back because they blew the full-time whistle. Then they brought Bruno back out. I was like, nah, you can actually take a penalty kick. Like, other than that, Brighton always plays United really tough. Brighton's obviously got more rest here. I like everything about Brighton. I haven't looked up prices for these matches. I only did the Premier League before the show, or a couple days ago, or whatever. But I want to back Brighton here, simply put. I want to back Brighton.
If you want to back Brighton, then I want to back Brighton too, because I think that you've got a really good read on United. And when you look at the lines in this match, it kind of tells a story. Aren't Brighton favorites in this?
Probably.
I think so. Let's get an updated line here. But you said, so Bruno's out?
Today? Yeah, he's out due to yellow cards, but he'll be back in the Premier League. He's just out for the Europa League game.
Okay. So he's not out of this fixture that we're talking about.
Nah, he's not out of this one.
Oh, let's see. Yeah, I mean, they've got Brighton. Like, I think that this is one of those where classic, like, this is Manchester United. One of the biggest clubs, the biggest club in England. And they're underdogs here to Brighton. Slight underdogs.
They should be. Brighton's been stinking good all season. They obviously have the rest. They have everything. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I think who's Brighton's goalie?
top of my head at least. I don't know.
He's
He's the guy that Spurs are looking to buy to replace Hugo Lloris. Whatever it's Araya or something like that. He's got a very short name, like 4 letters. Spurs are
no,
looking.
it's this Robert Sanchez.
Oh, that's the Brentford keeper they're looking at getting. Wait, that's the
Yeah,
Brentford keeper they're getting.
yeah, but this Robert, I've seen this guy. Okay, so he's good. Like he's pretty solid. I was just thinking like, do I go towards maybe the to qualify market, which then you even kind of like want to factor in. Okay, that's De Gea, like in that kind of penalty situation. But yeah, I think that this one does tell a story, and maybe you look towards
What team to score over 2.5? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe Brighton draw no bet in the first 90, and if you want it, and then if it pushes, you just kind of get out of it and it's whatever.
What about Brighton first half money line? They're coming off the long trip back from Sevilla on Thursday night. Got to jump back. Got to travel again to get to Wembley. I don't know how far that is from Manchester, but it's a travel of some amount of distance.
Yeah,
I think Brighton first half money line could be a nice little look. You're going to get all their guys.
It very well could be. So, yeah, I don't disagree with you at all.
So, all right, I'm going to toss up a couple bets, and I'm going to get you to indulge me here in a little bit later. But I've only got one bet I'm willing to share on this show. I think I've thrown out tons of leans. I'm going to pull the trigger on some of those leans before my morning show Friday, so I'll share some more. But I'm going to do this Arsenal team total over 1.5, Liverpool team total over 1.5 for a 2-unit play at minus 154 over on Caesars is, at this moment, my only official play.
Yeah. I mean,
do you have anything that you've bet that you want to share, or should people just give you the follow on Twitter as you fire them out?
Oh no, I like Liverpool team total, and
2.5.
And
though, right?
over 2.5. Liverpool team total over 2.5. Leeds Fulham over 2.5. Villa draw no bet. Those would be where I'm looking at. Some things could even be pushed to being like more. Like I think there's some nice potentials to have a lot at stake here.
Okay. All right. The piece I said to indulge me with is I make also content for the NBC Sports Predictor app. My time is getting crunched. I don't want to make a separate video, so here are my answers. If you want to just rapid fire and give your 5 or 6 correct scores off top of your head, but those are how I'm going to roll this weekend on the NBC Sports Predictor app. And if you want to give out some score predictions, if not, we'll end the show. Whatever you feel like doing.
I'll go. I like the 2-1 to Villa. I would go probably 1-0 to Palace, just because Palace are in good form since the managerial change.
Yeah, they're.
I would rock with Palace. 1-0, 2-0, something like that. Leicester Wolves. Yeah, I think that one is it's a 1-1, 0-0, something like that. You're on a good. I don't know about backing Leicester, honestly, in that one. I'd go 0-0 or 1-1 there.
Okay.
Liverpool, I would crank it up to 4-0. Bournemouth, West Ham, I'll go 1-1 there. Bournemouth, West Ham, and then Newcastle Tot. I like the 2-1. I think I like the bottom and the top that you got there. I do definitely agree on those.
Maybe don't tail this because I've not come damn close to winning the $50,000. So I just supply my picks, but yeah, I've not come close. All right, cool. Todd, we'll do it this week in the Premier League. Got a couple FA Cup games as well. Jared, thanks for you got some great comments there. Good luck with your Feyenoord and Santiago to score plus 750. Got some good bets there, Jared. Let's all enjoy the Europa League. It starts in about 15 minutes. See if United can't come back to Manchester in the semifinals of a competition. All right, Matt, great having you. We look forward to. I'm thinking there are a lot of midweek Premier League games. We've obviously missed this a ton. I'd like to obviously get back on the regular. I'm wondering if next week we can do, because you got City Arsenal on Wednesday. There's some other matches on Tuesday. I don't know. We'll talk, but and I'll tweet it out. But I'm wondering if maybe we can get in 2 shows next week. We'll see what Matt's schedule's like as well.
Yeah, that would be fun. I should be able to do that. So
okay,
that'd be great.
All right, enjoy the games. Good luck with your bets, everybody. We'll talk with you guys next week.